How you guys doing? What's going on? Welcome to the channel. Do have an update on Ashley. Everybody's been talking about a video that's been going out. We saw a lady running. She's running in this hallway, and it looks like a white guy is chasing her, and everybody assumed it was Ashley and Joe. Come to find out, it was not. It was not Ashley and Joe. It was actually a different couple. The situation was real. However, Joe came out and he showed his hand with TMZ. He says that that video is deep fake. He said it's AI. He's going to find out who put it out there and he's going to come for them, right? But how can he come for them if the video is real? I mean, they just put the title Joe and Ashley on there, but the video is real. So I came across this video. It has more information about Ashley in the update, and I thought that you guys will possibly want to watch it with me and react. I love when you guys comment, so keep the comments coming. I just want to say thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. So continue. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it, and let's check it out.
Yeah, so Ashlee Jenae's fiancé, Joe McCann, the man who claimed he cared so much about her, reportedly did not step up to help with funeral costs, didn't really support the ongoing questions surrounding the situation, and now seems focused on cleaning up his public image instead. Instead of people getting clear answers, it looks like Joe is working overtime to convince everyone he had nothing to do with any of the rumors flying around online. And honestly, the internet has been side-eyeing the whole situation hard. Now, Joe couldn't really address every single rumor directly, but one thing he made very clear was that he says he is not the man shown in that viral hotel clip making rounds online. According to him and his team, the footage was supposedly altered with AI and edited effects to make it look believable. And listen, a lot of people online were already debating whether the clip was even authentic in the first place. If you haven't seen the video, it supposedly showed a woman appearing extremely distressed while running through what looked like a hotel hallway, while a man followed behind her during a chaotic moment. People immediately started connecting dots online and throwing Joe McCann's name into conversations, especially because of all the attention surrounding Ashlee Jenae's situation. But others quickly pointed out details that didn't add up. Some people noticed the hotel layout looked strange compared to the actual Zanzibar location people were mentioning online. The flooring, hallway setup, and overall design looked more like a standard American hotel instead of a tropical resort property, which raised even more questions. And honestly, whether the clip was real, edited, or completely fabricated, social media turned it into a full-blown internet storm within hours. Everybody suddenly became a detective overnight, zooming into frames, comparing locations, and reposting theories like crazy. Meanwhile, Joe McCann appears to be putting serious money behind public statements and media appearances to protect his reputation. Reports say he's been pushing stories through entertainment outlets and trying to make it crystal clear that he had no connection to the viral footage or the speculation surrounding it. What really got people talking was how polished and strategic everything suddenly started looking. One minute, the internet is flooded with rumors, and the next minute, there are headlines, statements, and PR-style responses popping up everywhere. A lot of people online started questioning why the focus seemed more centered on image protection instead of addressing Ashlee Jenae directly and showing more public support toward her loved ones. That's the part many viewers can't stop discussing. And then came the headline that really sent social media into another spiral. Ashlee Jenae's fiancé Joe McCann's viral hotel video is a deep fake. The reactions were all over the place. Some people believed it immediately, while others felt the timing of the statement seemed way too convenient. Okay, Joe, now this is the first time you've really spoken publicly about Ashlee Jenae, besides that super polished statement people online were calling a ChatGPT-style eulogy. And a lot of viewers felt the timing of it all came off cold and disconnected, especially while Ashlee's family was in the middle of laying her to rest. What made people even more uncomfortable was hearing that TMZ reportedly contacted her parents asking whether Joe McCann was invited to the funeral. Imagine dealing with that during such a painful moment. Then, once the answer came back that Joe wasn't invited, social media immediately started connecting the dots and saying it looked like the situation turned into another media rollout instead of a private family matter. People online were saying the headlines almost felt coordinated, like the rejection itself became a talking point to help shape Joe's public image. And honestly, the internet did not hold back with their reactions. A lot of people are still frustrated because, from the outside looking in, the whole situation appeared more focused on reputation management than compassion. Whether Joe McCann was directly connected to anything or not, many viewers felt the way everything was handled publicly only added more tension and suspicion online. That's why every time his name trends, the comments instantly fill up with criticism and questions that still haven't gone away. And another thing people could not stop talking about was the financial side of everything. Joe is reportedly a multimillionaire, yet Ashlee Jenae's family allegedly had to create a GoFundMe to help with expenses and transportation arrangements. Online reactions were brutal after that detail surfaced. Many people said it just didn't sit right with them at all, especially considering how public the story had already become. Social media users were basically asking, "How does this even happen?" over and over again. Now, according to Joe McCann's legal team, the viral hotel footage circulating online is completely fake and supposedly created using AI-generated editing tools. Their statement claimed the clip showing Ashlee Jenae allegedly being followed through a hotel before she was later discovered unresponsive was nothing more than AI-generated slop. That phrase alone sent social media into another frenzy because people immediately started debating whether the statement sounded defensive, dismissive, or carefully scripted by a PR team. At this point, the internet is split into different camps. Some believe the footage was manipulated from the start, while others think there are still too many unanswered questions surrounding the timeline, the public responses, and the overall handling of the situation. I'll also say this. For everybody saying, let the major media outlets handle it, let the big networks take over, I think people need to look at the bigger picture a little more carefully. And this isn't meant to disrespect every traditional news outlet either, because there are genuinely talented reporters and incredible investigative journalists out there doing solid work every single day. Some of them have uncovered major stories and dedicated their lives to getting answers for families who deserve them. There are definitely good people in that world. But at the same time, huge corporations and media companies still chase ratings, attention, and headlines, just like everybody else online. People love criticizing YouTube creators, podcasts, Instagram pages, and independent media, but large networks are also competing for clicks, viewers, and ad money too. That's just the reality of modern media now, whether people want to admit it or not. And honestly, expecting giant corporate outlets to automatically dive deep into every complicated story connected to Ashlee Jenae may have been a huge mistake for some people online. A lot of viewers assumed major networks would instantly prioritize uncovering every detail and pushing hard for answers. But that doesn't always happen the way people expect. Sometimes stories get watered down, rushed through quick segments, or pushed aside once the headlines stop trending. The comparison reminds me a lot of taxis versus rideshare apps. Back in the day, there were amazing taxi drivers who cared about customers and worked hard every day. But over time, people became frustrated with bad service, inconsistent experiences, and feeling ignored, especially in lower-income communities where complaints often went unheard. That frustration opened the door for rideshare companies to completely change the system. Now, rideshare apps have their own issues too, obviously. Nobody's saying they're perfect, but the reason people embraced something different was because they felt the old system stopped listening to regular people. And honestly, the same thing has happened with media. Viewers started turning toward independent creators and online platforms because they felt traditional outlets were missing stories, avoiding difficult conversations, or focusing too much on profit instead of real reporting. A lot of people believe that if traditional media companies truly invested in long-form investigative reporting again, situations like the one involving Ashlee Jenae might receive more detailed attention and stronger follow-up coverage. Instead, people feel many outlets rush through stories just to move on to the next trending topic before audiences lose interest. And that's why so many conversations are now happening online instead of only on television. People want updates in real time. They want deeper discussions, and they want voices willing to question things instead of repeating polished statements. Whether that's always good or bad is another debate entirely, but it's definitely changed how stories spread and how public pressure builds today. Some people even argue that if investigative journalism still operated the way it did during the peak era of long-form news programs, where reporters spent months digging into details instead of chasing fast headlines, the public conversation surrounding Ashlee Jenae could have unfolded very differently. Anyway, there's a social media post spreading everywhere right now, and people online cannot stop talking about it. In the clip, a woman appears to be running through what looks like a hotel stairwell and hallway while being followed by a bald man. The post claims the footage shows Ashlee Jenae and Joe McCann, which instantly sent the internet into another wave of speculation and debate. But Joe McCann's attorney, Edward Andrew Pinsack, told TMZ, "This video is an atrocious deep fake. We're investigating who's responsible for peddling this garbage and will be taking forceful legal action." That statement alone immediately sparked strong reactions online because people started asking why the situation seemed to get such a fast and aggressive response compared to everything else surrounding Ashlee Jenae's case. A lot of social media users are basically saying, wait a minute, so there's energy for legal threats over a viral clip. But where was that same urgency in other areas? That's the question that keeps popping up across comment sections and live streams. People are frustrated because they feel Ashlee's family deserved more public support, more attention, and more compassion during an incredibly difficult time. Many viewers also pointed out that Ashlee Jenae's family reportedly had to rely on community fundraising efforts during such an emotional period, and that detail really stayed with people online. Critics keep bringing up the fact that Joe McCann is believed to have major financial resources, so they expected to see stronger public support and direct assistance without hesitation. That disconnect is one of the biggest reasons public criticism keeps growing. And then there's the wording from Joe's legal team, which people online have been dissecting nonstop. The phrase, forceful legal action, stood out to many because it sounded extremely serious and immediate. Some people understand completely why someone would want edited or misleading footage removed from the internet, especially if they believe it damages their reputation unfairly. But others are questioning why the same level of public urgency didn't appear in conversations surrounding Ashlee Jenae herself and the concerns raised by her supporters. That's really where most of the online frustration is coming from right now. It's not just about the video anymore. People are focused on the overall response, the public image strategy, and the perception that protecting reputation seemed to become the top priority once viral clips and headlines started spreading everywhere. They said, as TMZ reported, Ashlee Jenae passed away earlier this year during a birthday trip to Tanzania. She was found unresponsive in her room just days after getting engaged to Joe McCann. Ashlee's fiancé remained in Tanzania for nearly a month while cooperating with authorities as part of the investigation and later returned to the United States after being cleared to leave the country. That report alone already had social media buzzing because people were trying to piece together the timeline for themselves. But what really caught people's attention was the communication between Joe McCann and Ashlee Jenae's mother, Yolanda. According to reports, Joe allegedly contacted Ashlee's family earlier and told them Ashlee was in the hospital and in stable condition. Naturally, hearing that would make any parent anxious but hopeful at the same time. The situation became even more emotional when reports claimed the family later received news of Ashlee's passing from the hotel instead of directly from Joe himself. People online immediately started reacting strongly to that detail because many felt the family should have received clearer communication during such a devastating moment. Social media users were asking why the information appeared to come through the hotel staff rather than directly from someone so personally connected to Ashlee Jenae. According to statements connected to Joe McCann's legal team, Ashlee's mother, Yolanda, later sent Joe a message asking what happened shortly after learning the heartbreaking news. The reports claim she wanted answers about how Ashlee passed away while they were in Tanzania. That part especially hit people emotionally because viewers imagined how painful and confusing that moment must have been for the family. Then things became even more controversial once Joe's side reportedly claimed he responded promptly and appropriately, despite dealing with the situation himself. But online, people immediately started questioning what exactly was said in those messages, because the public has still not seen much clarity regarding those conversations. That uncertainty only added more speculation across social media platforms. Another major point people keep discussing is the claim that Ashlee Jenae's mother allegedly did not respond afterward, and that Joe McCann reportedly hasn't heard from the family since then. Some people online believe the family may have simply needed privacy and space during an unimaginable loss, while others think the silence reflects deeper frustration and unresolved emotions behind the scenes. At this point, every new detail connected to Ashlee Jenae's case seems to spark another intense wave of reactions online. People continue analyzing timelines, statements, interviews, and legal responses, while trying to understand how everything unfolded during those final days in Tanzania. According to reports connected to Joe McCann's side, he believes authorities concluded that Ashlee Jenae passed away by self-harm while they were in Tanzania. That statement immediately triggered strong reactions online because people began debating whether enough information had been shared publicly for anyone to feel comfortable accepting that conclusion so quickly. The reports also claimed Joe chose not to continue reaching out to Ashlee's family after their initial communication because he wanted to respect their space while they were grieving. At the same time, his side reportedly stated he would have responded if Ashlee's mother had contacted him again. That explanation caused a major divide online, with many people questioning whether that level of communication was really enough considering the seriousness and emotional weight of the situation. A lot of viewers felt the response sounded distant and overly formal during such a heartbreaking time. Others argued that grief affects everyone differently, and that there may have been legal advice involved behind the scenes. Still, social media discussions became extremely emotional because people kept imagining how difficult the experience must have been for Ashlee Jenae's loved ones, trying to process everything from another country while searching for answers. Many online commentators focused heavily on what they viewed as a lack of warmth, urgency, or deeper support toward the family after Ashlee's passing. Some critics said the situation appeared too centered on public statements, legal positioning, and media narratives instead of personal compassion and direct communication. That perception has fueled a huge amount of frustration online ever since the story first gained attention. The conversation also expanded into criticism of celebrity news culture and entertainment media overall. Some people accused outlets of sensationalizing painful situations involving Black women while prioritizing dramatic headlines and viral engagement over sensitivity and balance. Others defended those same platforms, arguing they simply report what sources and legal representatives provide. Either way, the media coverage itself has now become part of the controversy surrounding the case. Another thing people online started bringing up was how investigations connected to celebrity or high-profile deaths sometimes lead to additional scrutiny of the people surrounding the situation. Users referenced other public cases where authorities later examined outside influences, suppliers, or individuals connected to tragic events. Those comparisons fueled even more speculation online, even though every case is completely different and should be treated separately. At this stage, the discussion around Ashlee Jenae and Joe McCann has become much bigger than just one headline or one statement. It now involves debates about media responsibility, public image management, grief, communication, and how online audiences react when details feel incomplete or emotionally unresolved. People online have also been comparing this situation to other high-profile cases where investigators looked closely at people connected to tragic events, including assistants, employees, or close associates who may have handled important details behind the scenes. Those comparisons have added even more speculation and non-stop theories across social media, even though every case has completely different facts and circumstances. At the same time, it's important to be clear that nobody publicly knows exactly what happened to Ashlee Jenae, besides the authorities and the people directly involved in the investigation. Online discussions have gone in every direction possible, with some people believing the official explanation, while others continue questioning whether there are still unanswered details. Right now, much of the conversation is driven by public perception, emotional reactions, and how people interpret Joe McCann's behavior since the situation became public. A huge part of the criticism surrounding Joe comes from the way many viewers feel he has presented himself through statements, legal responses, and media coverage. Some people online believe the tone has appeared overly polished, calculated, or focused on reputation management instead of emotional sensitivity toward Ashlee Jenae and her loved ones. That perception has become one of the biggest reasons public frustration continues growing across social platforms. Critics especially keep pointing to the speed of the PR-style responses, interviews, and legal statements, while saying they expected a quieter and more compassionate approach during such a painful situation. A lot of commenters feel the public messaging came across as someone trying to quickly move forward and regain control of their image, rather than slowing down and showing deeper empathy toward the grieving family. Others online have also accused Joe McCann of appearing eager to return to his luxury lifestyle, business ventures, social scene, and everyday routines, while Ashlee Jenae's family continues dealing with heartbreak and unanswered emotions. Fair or unfair, that perception has shaped a huge portion of the internet's reaction to him over the past several weeks. And then there's the issue of the public tribute itself, which many social media users criticized heavily after it was released. Some viewers describe the message as overly scripted, overly polished, or emotionally disconnected rather than heartfelt and personal. That criticism spread quickly online and became another major talking point tied to the overall controversy surrounding the case. Despite all the arguments, debates, and speculation online, many people keep coming back to the same core feeling. They simply want Ashlee Jenae's family to receive peace, clarity, and whatever answers are still possible moving forward, whether that comes through official investigations, additional information, or simply time away from the public spotlight. Supporters continue expressing hope that her loved ones eventually find some sense of closure after such a heartbreaking situation. I really hope Ashlee Jenae's family has people on the ground continuing to ask questions and stay informed about everything connected to this situation. A lot of people online believe authorities may wait until the media attention slows down and the public conversation cools off before giving any final updates or conclusions about the investigation. That's been a huge topic across social media lately, especially with so many headlines, statements, and online debates happening all at once. At the same time, this whole story has also made many viewers think differently about traveling overseas and how important it is to stay alert no matter where you are in the world. And honestly, this doesn't just apply to Africa or Tanzania. People are saying situations can become complicated anywhere once you're far away from home, dealing with unfamiliar systems, different laws, language barriers, hotels, or local authorities. That's why so many commenters have been stressing the importance of traveling carefully, staying connected with family, and making sure trusted people always know where you are. Some viewers also criticized how parts of the situation were reportedly handled from the beginning, especially regarding communication, transparency, and the flow of information surrounding Ashlee Jenae's final days. Those concerns are a major reason the conversation has continued growing online instead of fading away quietly. People still have strong emotions about everything connected to this story, and many feel there are details they're still trying to fully understand. At the end of the day, everyone online seems to have a different opinion about what happened, who handled things correctly, and what should come next. Some people believe the official explanations make sense, while others still feel uneasy about the timeline and public responses surrounding the case. Either way, Ashlee Jenae's name continues to spark emotional conversations across social media every single day. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. Do you think the public is asking fair questions? Or do you think social media has gone too far with speculation? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this situation. And if you made it this far, make sure you like the video, share it with somebody who's been following the story, and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Also, keep an eye out for what's coming up next on our radar because there are already more updates and trending stories people cannot stop talking about right now.